Welcome to the Real Mom Hub, where we celebrate the beautiful, profound transformation into motherhood.
It's a journey that shatters and rebuilds us in incredible ways. We share the voices of everyday moms honing and discovering their natural instincts and superpowers.
We talk to experts to try and make sense of our minds and bodies.
We air out the hard parts of parenting people don't like to talk about.
Because let's be honest, motherhood is as hard as it is joyful.
So why not embrace it? Lean into the growth, the struggle, the magic. This is your opportunity for complete and utter personal transformation.
Come with us. We're so glad you're here. Hi, all. In this episode, Emily and I answer a listener question and then a few of the questions that we ask many of our guests when they're on the podcast. And then we pulled some of our favorite clips from the amazing mothers that have shaped us. So you'll hear from our mom, Anne. You'll hear from our maternal grandma, Nancy, and then our paternal grandma, Anne O'Leary. So we hope you enjoy, and we will list the episode numbers before each of those clips. Happy Mother's Day. Hello.
Hello. How's your day?
Oh, we are prepping for a birthday party, so exciting.
Charlie Bear. So
I
cute.
know.
I'm so bummed we won't be there. Ugh.
You know what? It's just one of those things we have to start ripping off the Band-Aid.
I know.
Can't be at every niece and nephew's everything. But we'll try forever and ever.
Forever and ever, amen. Absolutely. So this episode will air after Charlie's birthday and right after Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being part of this community.
And for being the best mom for your kids.
Yeah, which we all are. We are all the best mom for our own kid, no matter what kind of mom we are.
No matter what kind of day we're having, aka Emily's day today.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into like what we're loving and what is difficult about motherhood, because I mean, listen, what I'm loving is I just had a phenomenal morning. We went to this garden center and he just wanted to smell all the flowers and like touch everything. It was so cute. He was so sweet. He was flirting with everybody there. It was busy because it was like before Mother's Day, you know.
You know what Nora does? She rips the dirt out of the pots.
She goes for the dirt?
Yeah.
Like she goes past the flowers to the dirt?
Right past them. Charlie, flowers. Nora, dirt.
I mean, that does check out for both of them. So he's like, let me touch the foliage. Let me like smush my little face. And I just loved it. It was just, he actually has opinions because he's like, oh, this looks way cooler than that. Can we go see that? You know, it's just great. Cute. So that's what I'm loving. What is difficult is coming home and making him a lunch. Like I actually put sugar in his lunch today, which I don't do. I made him a peanut butter and jelly quesadilla.
Yum.
Like no cheese, but like between tortilla, right? Mm-hmm. He never gets jelly. He doesn't get sugar from me. And he wouldn't, it was one of those lunches where we totally just like, after 25 minutes, dumped the plate, cleaned the tray off, started over from scratch.
How rude.
Just so rude. I mean, it's been happening more and more. Some days he'll surprise me and eat spicy things and love it. Like he's into kimchi, but other days, hello, you don't like sugar? I mean, I'm glad.
Except for no, because sometimes you really need a peanut butter and jelly. Next time you're on a hike, you're going to want a peanut butter and jelly. That's
actually exclusively the only time I want a peanut butter and jelly. Otherwise, I think they're so gross. But on a hike, 100%.
Oh, so good.
100%. Okay, I just did both of mine. So what are you loving about mothering and what is difficult this week?
I'm just loving the weather. Like the fact that the kids can just be outside and so muddy and dirty. And as much as I hate when I have to, you know, deal with that in the house, it's just so happy. We're all just happier. So yeah, that's been
Sunshine.
Great. Yeah.
Kids.
I do think what's difficult is probably all of the mud and the dirt and the outfit changes and like ruining clothes and, you know, but
I mean, you do have that little in between the backyard. I mean, you have multiple stairs.
Yeah, we stripped down in that little mud room.
Yeah.
Yep, we strip down, then we proceed. But you're just like changing clothes all the time. Yeah. My kids have just been in pajamas all day because they already got them dirty right away because they had to be outside. I was going to like stop them while I'm trying to make breakfast.
No.
So now they just have dirty pajamas that they've been in all. Oh, no, I take that back. Nora's been wearing Charlie's swim trunks.
Thank goodness.
Keep falling off her butt.
Like Like today, 4-year-old Charlie's swim
Yes.
trunks?
No, he just got them and she likes them so much that she had to wear them.
And how is Charlie doing with this?
Great, actually. He thinks that's funny.
He's such a prince. Like,
he's such a prince.
He had to be the first grandchild. Like, he just...
I know.
Love that guy.
So today we're going to start by answering a listener question.
Yes. And
So
to those of
funny.
you who've been texting us, we love it. Thank you so much. It totally makes our day. Reminder to all you listeners who don't know about this feature, if you, any platform you're listening on, Apple, Spotify, there's a little, like, send us a text. If you click that, you can text us suggestions for episodes, or like, hey, I'm running into this difficult thing in my mothering, could you address that? Or send us recommendations of who we should interview. Constructive criticism, always accepting that too. So we love to hear from you. And this listener in particular from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, these are anonymous. We can't tell who they're from. We just get the little city. So this one from Oshkosh has been fun. We've gotten a few texts from this mom. I assume you're a mom. Sorry if you're not.
But you go if you're not.
Yeah,
We just stick with it.
Totally. Oh, first of all, she said that you really remind her of Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. Couldn't agree more. 100%. Oh, and quick note, links don't show up. So if you want to email us links to articles, etc., please email us. I don't know why they don't show up on the text, but the email is therealmomhub@gmail.com. The question for us, are you a silky mom, a crunchy mom, or a scrunchy mom?
Which we had to look up because we weren't quite sure.
Yeah, I had to get some help from ChatGPT on this one.
Which was like a fun, spicy. It was a fun, almost like those quizzes you used to take in like 17 magazine, sitting on your friend's bed, like in middle school. Did you do that?
Yeah, actually, like I kind of want to take one for what kind of mom I am now.
There's got to be one out there. Okay, send us a what kind of mom are you quiz. Scrunchy, silky, crunchy. We'll take it.
I love it.
We've sort of self-diagnosed though.
Yeah, yes, totally. I'm just going to go through the definition that ChatGPT gave real quick. So a crunchy mom, she's the queen of compost and colloidal silver, breastfeeds until kindergarten, makes her own elderberry syrup, and considers epidurals a government conspiracy. Wears her baby and her values on her sleeve, usually linen, sustainably sourced, and hand-dyed with beet juice.
The beet juice.
A little extreme, ChatGPT. That was a little extreme, but I think we get the picture.
Yep.
A silky mom is formula fed and fabulous, lives for a stroller with cup holders, a scheduled C-section, and a glass of chilled rosé. Thinks sleep training is self-care and wouldn't be caught dead with cloth diapers unless they're on somebody else's baby on Instagram. So savage. And then a scrunchy mom is just in between the two. So a scrunchy mom is stuck between a rock and a Costco, loves essential oils and epidurals, might pack a bento box for preschool, but also microwaves dino nuggets without shame. Mm-hmm. She's a little crunchy, a little silky, and a whole lot of just doing her best.
Raise your hand. Okay, this is what I've realized after we sort of did our deep dive into what are we. I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I entered motherhood on the crunchier side, and I have balanced out to be more scrunchy, but I definitely gained more silky traits than I thought I would. I think you approached motherhood silkier side.
Yeah.
And I think you have adopted some crunchy traits.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Accurate. I just thought, yeah.
Yeah. So we're saying we're both scrunchy, right?
For sure. 100%.
100% just doing our best.
I think most moms.
Yes. Yeah. But I think I was a silky individual more so before I had Kieran. And then I had Kieran and I was like, I'm sorry, what's in that skincare? What am I? No, thank you.
We won't do it
maybe
for
if he's not getting sugar.
Baby.
Yeah.
Jelly?
Jelly? Are you kidding me? He doesn't need that.
Yeah. Scrunchy it is.
I also love Costco. I love Costco. So,
I'm
this
so
is
jealous
what moms
you have
can
one.
text me Text me your favorite things to buy at Costco.
Especially convenience foods that aren't terrible.
Yeah, me. I will say
text me that.
Yeah, my scrunchie, just parameters for my scrunchiness. If it's like this long, sorry, you can't see.
You're
if
on
there
a podcast.
If there are too many ingredients, I'm not buying it. I'm not even going to read them.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't understand what they are, I'm also not buying it. That's it. So if you have some convenient foods from Costco that have short ingredient lists that are clean, you just let me know. I'd love to hear about them. That's so funny, Kelly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to answer another little set of questions pulled from what we often ask moms in our interviews. Just like a little happy Mother's Day. Let's do this deep dive on ourselves because we never do it.
You mean like we ask our guests to go really deep and then we're just kind of like sitting on the sideline?
And we're like, oh, tell us all your stuff.
Yeah. It's easier that way. Come on.
Okay, so Emily,
yes.
What shocked you about motherhood?
Hi, Emily here. I'm interrupting briefly with a quick ask for you. It's the only ask we're ever going to make of you, and it's this. If you're enjoying the show, if these conversations are adding value to your life, please make sure you're following us on whatever platform you usually listen on. This really helps us grow the show and make sure that we are capturing quality experts for our interviews. So please support the project if you're enjoying. If you're feeling like you have extra energy, please check us out on social and make sure you're following along there at The Real Mom Hub on all platforms. And we have a weekly newsletter. You can sign up for that on our website at therealmomhub.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful for y'all. Hey, Cal, do you remember when I was first pregnant, one of the first questions I came to you in a panic over?
What do I wear?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, what the heck do I put on my body? And do you remember the first recommendation you had for me?
I'm sure it was Kindred Bravely because I tell every single new mom that they have to look into Kindred Bravely.
Yeah, no, that was how I remembered it too. Yeah, I think specifically the leggings were the
products.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Leggings, bras. I mean, everything in between. You know what I've been wearing recently, which is funny? The really nice bamboo no slip like hospital socks.
Shut the front door.
I was out of socks. Put them on. They were so nice. I haven't taken them out for 3 days.
I've never tried those. They're incredible. All of the things I've had from them, I've had for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. No wear and tear even. Somehow amazing. They don't pill. They're airy. I mean, phenomenal product. And this company is founded by women. It's led by women, moms specifically. So they get us. We love them.
So how do listeners support this mom-owned business?
They can use the link in our show notes. Start there and make sure that you enter our code, TheRealMomHub15 at checkout for 15% off your purchase.
And you can buy all these staples that honestly you'll keep in your drawers long after maternity postpartum season is done for you.
Yeah, I never put mine away. My body shrank back almost back to normal.
And so did the clothes.
The leggings still fit me.
Incredible.
How? We don't know.
Incredible.
We don't know, but we love them. Thank you,
Kindred Bravely.
I did not know that I was going to come home from the hospital and not recognize myself for 2 years. I
physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all
of it.
2 years.
I mean, I'm still.
Wait, you're not quite at 2 years yet.
No, I'm not. She's still building.
So we're gonna check in at 2 years, people.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know how insane that first year of motherhood was. I didn't have a normal recovery, I think, but I mean, hormonally, like I was crazy for a whole year.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was coming. And I had no idea that I would reevaluate, renegotiate, redefine all of these different pieces of myself that I had been confident in for years.
Yeah.
So still working on it.
Yeah.
What shocked you about motherhood?
Mine
shook you to your core.
I think mine really shines a light on the fact that we didn't really plan to start as soon as we did. Mine was purely like the huge responsibility Charlie came out and I was just floored. I felt suffocated. I'm like, I am in charge of keeping this human alive and like flourishing for the rest of my life. I mean, to a point. Like, that was astoundingly overwhelming for me.
Yeah. I mean, you watch moms do it, but I mean, till you come home from the hospital with no manual.
Yeah.
And it's during the day, it's during the night, it's constant.
And you don't, like, when they're in your belly, like, it's so different. It is so different. I'm still at a loss for words.
Being pregnant and choosing where I parked differently downtown in a city than before I was pregnant.
Sure, yep.
So you get a little taste of self-preservation.
Yeah, that's true. Or even like it's already affecting your sleep and like, yeah.
But yeah, totally different when you bring that sweet thing home from the hospital.
A little anecdote. Charlie was asking me how babies come out this morning.
Oh, good.
Out of bellies.
Sure. I mean, great question.
Yeah, I mean, I said, actually, they come out of a vagina. And he's heard that word before, but I don't know, like, he's almost 4, and I guess he loved it today. So he's been saying.
What does that mean, he loved it?
Oh, he just loves to say it all morning.
Oh, he loves the word.
Vagina, vagina, vagina.
Oh, and how many people are you having over tonight for a birthday party?
I think over 30.
Good. He's going to have a good stage. Good audience.
But then he like wanted to know, like, he's like, well, what's a vagina? And I was like, oh, it's a canal. Oh, you don't know what the,
it's
like a tube. It's like a tunnel from your belly to. Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
256 that I'm glad you had a kid first.
All right. Ready? Next one. What reoccurring joys or wins have you experienced in motherhood?
I think the joys are constant. My life got so much harder when I had a kid. Like we've talked about it before. I'm less happy. My happiness scale's going up now that he's a little more autonomy, but yeah, definitely was deeply unhappy, which made the spikes of joy throughout the day just so obvious. It was incredible. And the joy was new. That depth of joy, just watching him exist was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Also, as I've been sifting through these pieces of myself and figuring out what stays and what goes, and what I've forgotten, what I'm rediscovering. All of this fish that just really didn't matter is kind of going to the curb. It's like a big old spring cleaning. I think that's a big win.
Big trash day.
Big trash day on my personal audit. Oh, yeah. If it's not serving my family and me, it's out.
Yeah. I think mine is just like forcing me, because I don't know that I'm winning at this. I think the joy, though, is like forcing me to slow down and just try to experience that childlike joy, because that's so outside of my personality. I mean, it is. Am I wrong? You're laughing. Am I wrong? I'm just such a doer. I don't like.
You are a doer, but you love to cultivate the joy for your children.
Right. That's why it's so good for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love being joyful around other people, but like just for myself, the only thing that I do that's just like joyful and awe-inducing for myself is like nature's like the only thing that could really get me there before kids.
Okay.
I think.
Interesting.
I know. Maybe I'm just like tying it out of my butt, but I think it's true.
So are you saying that you now experience more joy, full stop, or are you talking specifically about the childlike joy? Like you experience those things?
It's that one. That's the one that I'm like learning how to experience, I feel like, with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say I had moments of like glee and happiness and joy before, for sure. Like I'm an extrovert, like with the people I love, yes. But just like in a quiet moment, like that childlike joy, that's what I'm like really sort of coming into with my kids.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're working on it.
For forever and ever, amen.
Yes, we sure are. All right, here's the hardest one. Ready?
Okay, can we talk about why is this so hard for everyone to answer? Like this, of all the things we've talked about with our guests, this is the one that stumps them. Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's hard for me because actually there's like societal expectations of external versus internal like validation and self-worth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of our guests, and I found myself doing the same thing, stumbled over like, well, this person does that for me. But is that the right answer? I don't know. That's my take. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I've noticed I used to really prioritize looking good and feeling good, and that was great self care for me.
Mm,
And
in
it
that
was
season.
nice to have jobs I had to show up well in.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think I have to set aside time to put myself together and also invest in a place or an activity where that's necessary. There's
Mm,
and that's just not where most of my time and energy goes these days.
mm-hmm. So
So
it's
I
like
mean
a
for
reframe
moms,
on that experience.
yeah, but and we're so focused on nurturing others.
Okay, if you're not a regular listener, can I please say the question?
Yeah. Kelly,
Okay,
what's the
the
question?
question is what makes you feel beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, I think in motherhood, like it forces you to look internally and figure out what feelings of beauty versus outward physical beauty because frankly, it's not always possible to look glamorous, put together. You know what I'm
I think it
saying?
is. I think it's what you expect out of your lifestyle and the kind of support you ask
Yeah,
for to
but
get
you
there.
don't always feel like you look beautiful.
Not
That's
24/7,
what I'm saying.
but I also could be making different choices right now.
So, like, what are things that make you feel beautiful even if you couldn't put on makeup?
Oh, I mean, in that case, Kieran does. He's in this
Yeah,
phase where he just reaches out for my face all the time and he smashes his
so
little face
cute.
against mine and he just grins. I mean, Kyle makes me feel beautiful, of course. And honestly, it happens more in moments where I haven't done anything to put myself together
Mm-hmm.
because he's so great at recognizing those. But I'm always like, yeah, thank you, I know. But it's, it's the times in between when I feel terrible and he'll say something that really does it for me. I feel beautiful honestly when I'm around my sisters and my mom, and I think it's because these
That
are
is a good one.
faces that I love so much that are similar to mine.
That's so
So when I'm
true.
surrounded by my family, like my genetic, we look similar. And so I
Whoa,
just love my sister so much that when I see myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh, similar. You're part of this. And I feel beautiful then.
that is fascinating. I
Yeah.
feel the same way.
I also feel really good when I put in effort and I look good?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I have a little bit of time to really put into how I look and feel, like it honestly makes my whole day different and often a good way. Just
Mm-hmm.
like in a self worth, like I'm showing up for the world. Remember in Grandma's episode when we asked her how did we ask it? Something like, you're always so stylish and like put together. Like, how have you, maintained that in this like crazy life of yours? And her answer was like, oh, it was never for myself. I just feel like that's
Yeah.
respecting other people too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely for myself when I feel good. I can't say I'm as
Right.
altruistic as that, but I do think it's, yeah, just like showing up and respecting everyone around you and yourself as a mom. And I think a huge one for me is just being strong physically.
Yes. Yep.
So, like when I do a workout or when I'm taking a long walk or going on a hike with my kids, and like when I can baby carry, like that just makes me feel super powerful and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Beauty, inner beauty, outer beauty,
Mm-hmm.
everything in between. Why is it so
Moms.
complicated?
Moms are beautiful.
Yeah, we are.
All right, every mom, go listen to Bette Midler's I'm Beautiful. Rock out. Feel good about yourself.
That's our Baba's pump up song. What
Oh,
is
yeah. I just heard a huge crash, and I'm hoping it wasn't my dog eating the cupcakes. So I'm going to
okay.
wrap this one up.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank
Godspeed.
you.
Love you.
Godspeed. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. The following clips are from episode 11 with our mom. So you are talking to a fresh generation of budding matriarchs. What is one trait of womanhood that you hope we cherish?
I hope you cherish receptivity, receiving babies, receiving people home, receiving new ideas.
I'm taking it all in.
You're
You're receiving it
receiving it.
well. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm just sitting with your response too. Why do you think that was top of mind for you?
I think it's an essential quality of the feminine genius, of womanhood, that we are designed to receive. I think it's just part of who we are, uniquely. And Emily
What is
cannot
wrong with
handle
you?
it.
I just went all
Would have
Nat
ruined the
Geo,
moment.
and I was like back to hieroglyphics of like the womb is a vessel.
Yes, I mean, she's not wrong.
That was such a beautiful thought, and I'm sorry I wrecked it.
We should have left it at the. What a great question. Thank you. Here's the next one.
A theme in my marriage right now is I think there's just so much going on. We're a little overwhelmed. We're in a new season. We're not always receiving each other's words at a most
Mm.
basic level.
Mhm.
So I was just wondering if you're in a season, Mom, where you're focusing on receiving more, if you feel like you're a
Mm.
master receiver.
Am I in a particularly receptive season? Yes, in that there's more quiet in my life. Okay, for sure. I can process. I can be, I think, more open because it's a quieter season overall. Yeah. But I think it's a reality all the time for women. Well, I think at some point John Paul II said something to that effect in his writings on feminine genius, and he wasn't wrong.
Like, okay, we've received and received and we're receiving. And what do you do with it when you have it? Because it's not
Sometimes
like you're always
nothing.
receiving nice things. What?
Sometimes you just receive and sit with whatever it is. Sometimes you make a connection that helps you see what someone needs or what to do next. Or sometimes you reflect back what you received because someone needs to see it but can't see it in themselves. I mean, babies, you receive them, you take care of them. That's what the Real Mom Hub is about right now, right? But you receive the other moms you're building into this community wherever they're at. Sometimes you respond. Sometimes it's enough just to receive.
But the amazing thing is, I look at the way that I was parented and think, gosh, I hope I can do it that well.
You are doing so many things better than we were able to do.
But that is our wish, right? I mean,
Hmm.
that's our wish
Yeah,
for the world. But
right? To let go of the junk and the baggage that is harmful and just to run in the freedom of who we truly are and are made to be.
so, how do you feel that you show up for women? Like, or even has there been, a time that you can think of that you show up really well for other women? And on the flip side, is there a time that you can think of when women have showed up really well for you?
Yes, both and. So I think it is natural for me to be aware of what others are struggling with or carrying and to be encouraging and supportive. I think I'm able to not dodge hard things, but acknowledge those with friends or other women, and so I think that is one way to be able to check in and say, I know you're struggling. How's that thing going? What are you learning? How can I pray for you? And I think we have a great charism for hospitality as a whole family, and that's something that's been wonderful to see that transfer generations. I mean, somehow grandma was like that. You all are great at opening your door and coming up with a great meal and having people feel at home in your home. So I think that's a great way too to show up for women, even if it's not necessarily having them here, but just saying, let's be together. Let's just sit over here and be together. That's a good one. Homeschooling was a great way for me to support and share strengths and talents with friends and other women. Yeah, and likewise, there have been people that we've never lived by family. So whenever we had babies, it was friends who brought us food, friends who took the older ones where they needed to go. So we've always had to cultivate and rely on. So part of cultivating a tribe, I think, is that vulnerability of leaning on people and letting them sacrifice for you.
Hmm.
And that's
We
hard.
don't. The next clips are from episode 9 with our mom's mom.
to do a belly.
Did Grandpa buy you that?
You want to borrow it?
Wait, you have the record player. Didn't you just take the
I
record
got
player?
Grandpa's record player, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sadie needs the record.
I met your New Year's Eve dance, or your New Year's Eve outfit, but what are you talking about?
It's good exercise.
It is, that's true. That's so funny. Okay,
Incredible.
my question is, what makes you feel beautiful?
I don't think about that.
What? You're
Thank you.
so.
Yeah, that was one of the ones.
I think about what makes me beautiful all the time.
Yeah, but
I just lounges on the bed looking at
I'm
me.
sorry, I do. It's not hard, but I do.
you're so stylish. You have a belly dancing.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
always been so stylish.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So why were you doing that then, if not to feel beautiful?
The dance?
No, we know that was for exercise. No, you've always been so put together.
Thank you, I appreciate that. That's nice.
So where does that
Bonnie,
come
go through
from?
my closet.
I
got a lot of stuff
I
to get rid of.
have so many times, and I love it every time.
Thank you. Come again.
Well, so how do you put that much energy and you have such a good eye and all that time and effort into making yourself so presentable? Why do you do it if it doesn't make you feel beautiful, or if you're not thinking about feeling beautiful?
I'm not thinking about being beautiful. Whatever I do because of the people I'm going to be with also. It makes me feel good if I present well to them and if I remember that they are human beings. I have fun in like lobbies downstairs. Most of those people don't even think that you're going to do anything or be anything or that you're even there. And if you speak to them, most of them just brighten up and they're so excited to think somebody recognizes that they were here. So I don't think about the other aspect of it.
And we've talked about like the word village, like wanting to build our village of women and people, but women specifically, and how we're not as good at that in our generation as I think your generation was, because I think we have a harder time being vulnerable with people. And so it just our generation, and I don't know about yours, mom's in the background.
We did not have television. I was out of high school and we got a television set at our house. We did not have the cell phones that they have now. You had to get on the public phone and ask the party line to get off so you could make a phone call. It was just a whole different world than you children are growing up in. And I don't know how you can build confidences with people that you're not having really just a one unit gathering with them that's not going to go home and get on the phone, or the phone's not going to call in the interim, or you're not going to pick up the computer and think, oh, we talked about that this morning. I don't need to talk about it now. I don't know. You live in a whole different life of electronics than we do. And it's not just you, it's your whole family. I mean, it's everyone you're associated with has this whole interruption of life that we did not have. So it's I can see it would be very difficult to build a family of women like that. I don't know if you're blessed to have sisters that you can discuss things with, and you know that their background and they're somewhat similar to yours, not completely, but each one of you have had different experiences and handled them different ways. So you have a different interpretation of life. So you are blessed with that. To find a very dear friend, and everybody moves a lot now, which they never used to. So to develop and retain that relationship.
How did you find your peer group?
We had children at St. John's High School. So we were put together actually through having our children together in high school. It was 6 women at that time.
So these women just walked with you through so many things in life for so many decades.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you have things in common with them, do you think? Like, I'm thinking about friends you'd call up for a good time to go to the pool with you.
Ended up
that
with
relationship. Were these women, did you have friendships outside of the prayer group too?
Absolutely, because the women I went to high school with, we had a group of women from high school, and there were 5 of us in that also, and we always celebrated New Year's Eve together. if we had a husband by then or didn't, had a male friend or didn't. It was the men and women who gathered in this group from this 5 women that gathered every New Year's Eve for New Year's Eve celebration. It was a formal dinner. We had a standing rib. The men wore tuxes if they had them. The women wore beautiful gowns.
I love
And
it.
we did it you didn't have to worry about what you were going to do on New Year's Eve because you knew you had a gathering with this
where
people.
you had that outfit that Grandpa bought you.
A crop top, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was black.
It showed her
Gauzy.
midriff.
It was a little like Aladdin-y.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That
Yes.
he picked out for you, and you said, "Well, we'll have those for New Year's." And I was like, "Well, that's not the kind of New Year's I usually have."
Well, it had a jacket.
Okay.
It was a gold brocade jacket. Yes. I don't know what I did with the jacket. Well, I don't know what I did with the top
I don't think I
either.
ever saw the jacket.
No, but
She
I
ditched
always see
that.
you didn't see me on New Year's Eve. That's
I
why.
didn't.
But you knew if it was going to be at your house that you knew what it was a standing rib. It was always the same menu. It was just very, very comforting and easy. Because you didn't have to think about reservations or where were you going to go or who were you going to be with or were you going to be with anybody. Because some people I have found later in life and just in the past maybe 5 to 10 years that there are so many lonely people in the world that we live in. And I think because of modern technology, they can only become lonelier because they don't have gatherings like they used to have. The afternoon bridge groups, the afternoon teas. And I feel very sad that they are lonely, not even within the group of people their age, but within families. I go out to take care of your Aunt Marmar. She is in a place of, she has dementia. She's in a facility and they have happy hour every Thursday, and you know where your grandma is on Thursday afternoon.
Absolutely.
She's at happy hour at St. Clair. But by going Aunt Marmar's been there 4 years. By going for 4 years, some of these women and men and women at happy hour have become my friend. And because I am the only odd person they see, the only person, they don't have family visiting because I've been there at different times and no one's ever in their room. There's never any sign of activity in these rooms. So it was about, I don't know, a month or two because of not feeling well. I missed the Thursday afternoon gathering. And I was amazed when I went back the following week how many people, where were you? We missed you. So looking in, there are a number of people, as soon as I walk into the happy hour, I wait and they give me my wine later, but I speak to each and every one of these 4 people in wheelchairs that I feel are lonelier. How can you be in a community with people and be lonely? And they are, because they don't have any family coming. There's not a lot of interaction between the young people that are working there and the people that are residents there. And most of the residents are not at the age or in the disposition to be friendly with the other people there. Yes, so this past number of years, it makes me feel sad because there are so many lonely people and there's no need to have that many lonely people. But I can't send my friends because half of them are dead.
These next clips are from episode 13 with our dad's mom. So when you look at your life now versus when you were that little girl, does it look the same as you thought it would look? Did you dream, about where you would be in your 80s?
No, I always have had goals. Goals for what we're going to be doing as a couple, goals for me, some things I wanted to learn by a certain age. But they were always loose and flexible because you always get thrown curves. You could only plan so much. And then you get kind of a slap on the wrist. Says, "Oh, you really think you have this planned?" Well, don't think so. So I pictured that. I guess I never pictured how bewitching and rewarding it would be to have all of you grandchildren be part of our lives and want to be part of our lives. That is a gift beyond measure. It just is. I couldn't have conceived of how wonderful that is because I didn't know. And that is, I'm in a perfect spot. I really am. Grandpa and I still have fun. We laugh together. Even if some health issues come up, we're dealing with it. So truly, I can't complain anything about my life. I just can't. I'm lucky. I'm very, very blessed. Not lucky. It's a blessing. So
when you talk about those goals, even if they're flexible, do you remember what some of them have been?
some of them were learning goals. I had certain parts of history I wanted to learn. And then when I decided to become a docent, when I was in college, I was a sociology major and a art minor. I started out in arts and sciences and switched to education. Bad move for me. But anyway, um, I had goals of what I wanted to learn about history. I had goals about what I wanted to learn about art. I wanted to work better on my Bulgarian because my mother was so intent on speaking Bulgarian that she would speak Bulgarian to us, but we weren't expected to speak Bulgarian back. She wanted to speak English back. So I worked on, I can have a conversation, but it isn't as fluid as listening to Bulgarian was no different than listening to English. Mm-hmm. So goals like that, I think. And then we had travel goals. That's what we got, have tent will travel. It was wonderful. Pack up the kids and hit the parks, go hiking, hit the mountains. Loved it.
Something that I didn't understand until the last couple of years, though. So we grew up camping. We had a lot of friends who grew up camping. That was weird when you were raising kids.
Yes.
Can you, Callie,
I never thought of this.
Oh, wait, Baba, tell Callie the lengths you had to go to just take your kids camping for the first time.
Oh, yeah. There were no camping stores in town. We joined REI probably 55 years ago. And then LL Bean had two catalogs, a winter catalog and a summer catalog. So I had to go through REI and LL Bean to get things. So I called up LL Bean and I said, normally I know I have to send in a check and this is what I want and you'll mail it to me, but I can't get this gear in town. Can I set it in the mail, my check in the mail right now and you can mail it to me? They said, oh, sure.
Wow.
You could not get camping gear in outdoor activities, especially for a female. I had friends that said, well, when you're backpacking, what do you do when you have to go to the bathroom? or what do you do if it rains?
So you've been born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. And then you're like, I want to go. Why did you want to go sleep in a tent in the middle of nowhere with your children? Like, why was that even a thought if no one else was doing it?
Well, my dad absolutely loved nature and experiences. They had no money. So they would take us places to have experiences. When my dad came here, he ended up being a waiter at Bear Mountain Inn in New York. So when I was in 6th grade, he took us there. Then he took us to New York City. And he took us to Washington, D.C. because we're Americans. You have to see Washington, D.C. We couldn't afford a plane ride. So to go to South Bass Island in Lake Erie from Port Clinton, Ohio, you got on something called the Tin Goose, this tiny little World War II airplane. And you took a 15-minute ride over to the island. And the closest mountains were the Smokies. So he took us to the Smokies. He loved nature and outdoors, and he really passed that on.
Where did you stay? When Dadu's taking you all over in the Tin Goose, where do you sleep?
At those times, there were lots of ma and pop, very, very cheap places to stay with a bathroom down the hall. And then you always went to the store and had your own food. You did not go out to eat. And so it was very inexpensive to do it that way. And those modes of travel for families are gone now. It's like B&Bs have become this elaborate big breakfast thing now instead of an economical thing like they were before.
So I guess I'm connecting now. Baba Marika and Dadu were, I mean, in business terms, you just call them industry disruptors. Like they, I just haven't thought about this. The guts that it takes to choose a complete unknown for yourself, for a new life for you, something that you're going to build on opportunities, but you don't even know what they are. I mean, that was kind of built into their DNA as soon as they made the choice to come over here, I suppose. So then for Dadu to say, well, I'm going to take my kids to the mountains and do all these things, probably societal norms were less constraining to him. I mean, he just saw the thing, did the thing, figured it out.
Oh, absolutely. And he would get maps out, take us all over it he could. He loved it. And I think that love of travel and nature, he just embedded in me as.
When you think of the word matriarch, just going back to Baba, what feelings does that bring up?
Well, my mother was a wonderful, loving person, but for years she wanted to make me into something I was not, and that caused a lot of conflict. It really did. She wanted me to be this very proper, very quiet, she wanted me to be exactly what she wanted me to be instead of what I was. And that was difficult. And even as a very young, by the time I was in high school, I said, if I ever have daughters, I'm not going to do this. So I feel sorry that my mom never let go enough that she could become my friend as an adult. And just relax, know that I could do things. It's okay, because I have a blast with my girls and my daughter-in-law, your mom. I have such a good time with them. And she never had that opportunity. And that makes me a little sad for her.
Do you remember when you were a kid the first time you realized that there was friction in what she wanted for you and what you wanted? Or maybe the first time you felt really female in a way that, well, Uncle Donald can climb this tree, but is there a moment that you recall realizing something like that?
It just always seemed to be there. Once I became cognizant of roles, it was an early grade school. Absolutely. Here was this woman who came from a country with no electricity, no indoor plumbing. She comes to the States, didn't know anybody, no language, no anything, except her aunt who had immigrated here. And she has this rebellious daughter. I feel sorry for her.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't seem to have any bitterness.
No, absolutely not, because she was a wonderful woman. She did the best she could. And she was so wonderful to everybody. She really was. So, no, I'm not the least bit bitter at all. I still had a wonderful childhood. Loved all the Bulgarian dancing, all the traditions. But my dad also was an uber proud American. And my mom came here, I think I told you girls, with an arranged marriage. No, they exchanged letters, they exchanged pictures. And in 1937, she came over on a boat to marry a man she had never met.
And she didn't get to choose, right?
She did, but her mother strongly encouraged her to go because in that area of Bulgaria she lived in, they were still living like a medieval society where they would have their homes and then walk out to the fields. And then there was a village center where they could all gather and do things. And the Orthodox Church was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And I had a wonderful big brother. He was always there for me. And when girls say, oh, I would love to have a big brother, they only wanted to have a big brother if they had mine. And I think that was a big part of it, too, because life was very stressful for my parents. They came here with nothing, absolutely nothing. And my dad was older when he had us. He was in his 40s. And he came here with a junior high education, went to night school to learn to read and write English. He knew more American history than any college American history major. But his jobs were tough. He would work at the ore docks. He would work on the shipyards. And sometimes he would get laid off. And those were very, very scary times. And he also got seriously injured on the job twice. And that was scary. It really was. And it was tough for my mother to come here with no language skills or anything. So there was a lot of stress in their lives too. It still was a very rich growing up for me. I thought so even at the time.
Was that something that you think you inherited from Papa Marika and Daru? When you talk about holding the stress of injuries and layoffs and uncertainty, but also at the time feeling so positively about your situation, was that just part of your household makeup, or do you think that's more you?
I think more me. My mom, life was stressful for her, and everyone on the outside thought she was this happy-go-lucky, loving person, which she was. But things were also tough for her too. But she was a terrific, wonderful mother-in-law. Never said one thing against your grandpa. Never said one thing against my sister-in-law. Not one thing. That's a great mother-in-law. It was total support.
That's actually, Emily and I have talked about how you and Grandpa have been the example of just being support and not saying anything negative about, marriage or family or the way that you are parenting or that you're in a relationship. Like, you two just really have been the example of how to only be supportive.
Oh, I hope so, because you kids are all terrific and you have to go your own way. And I don't want you to do what I did. You'll do your thing.
I don't think we could recreate it if we tried. Sometimes I do try, and I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, no, you all are doing great. I absolve myself of all responsibility. It's a good feeling, actually. It really is. To have confidence in your kids to raise their kids, and now you grandchildren to raise your children. It's a good feeling. It really is.
Extreme generational wealth. Yeah. Extreme. I mean, you can figure out how to go after money. You can figure out how to, get after fitness, or you can read books about health, or, what you should be nourishing your body with. But you can do the best for your partner and your children and your friends and your circle, but you really have a huge head start when you're not undoing all of the generational baggage that has traumatized you or your parents previously. I mean, there's no replacement for a strong foundation of love and support, I don't think.
I think you're absolutely right, Emily. And I have said so often, I really don't know how anyone functions without the love of support of family and friends. I really don't know how they do. And so many people don't have that, which is why we have always tried, even when we were very, very young, to give back in some way to the community, because we have just been so extraordinarily blessed. We really have been. And it's not because we are these fantastic, wonderful, virtuous people. We've worked hard, but other people have worked hard, and they've just been dumped on. And we really have not. We just have had one blessing after another, after another, after another. Plus, we still like each other after 60-some years. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yes, agreed. I called you last night, and you pick up the phone, and I was like, oh, Baba, how are you? Oh, I'm just trashing Grandpa over here.
Well, they have to keep it spicy. How about when Sadie got engaged and we're at Camp Sisu and we're all holding hands? We're all in, little cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. William was just proposed, and Baba goes, and I pray for Sadie and William that they have plenty of fights. And we're all thinking, what? So that they have plenty of breakup sex. Or not break, sorry, they have plenty of makeup sex.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I sure did. Well, they did have 5 children.
You've been listening to The Real Mom Hub. Our music is by Naomi O'Leary. You can find us on social at The Real Mom Hub. We're not the authority or even very educated on the medical issues discussed. Do your own research, talk to an expert, make your own decisions, and call us if you learn anything new.
If you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram, or better yet, subscribe to our newsletter. If you don't, that's fine. We can all move on. Our purpose here is community, so if we've resonated with you, tell a friend.
Thanks for listening.